Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we're going to bring you the second game of the three-game set between the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Saitama Seibu Lions. Last night, it was a 6-1 victory for the Fighters, who did all the damage in the third and fourth innings of the ball game. It was a late consolation point on a solo shot home run by the Lions in the eighth inning that gave them their one run. Well, let's see what happens in game two tonight. They have a different pitching matchup, and the lineups are similar, but there are some adjustments. We'll give you, first of all, the starting lineup for the visitors from the Saitama Seibu Lions. Leading off and playing in center field tonight is number 51, Manaya Nishikawa. Hitting second at second base is 00 Keisuke Nakata. Batting third in right field is number 63, Shinya Hasegawa. In the cleanup spot and playing first base is number 26, Tyler Nevin. Batting in the fifth spot and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Arian Murata. Batting sixth at third base is number 10, J.D. Davis. Hitting in the seventh spot and in left field is number 8, Masaya Watanabe. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 37, Sanasuge. And batting ninth at playing shortstop is number 6, Sosuke Genda. And they are going to be facing Koki Kitayama, who takes to the hill with a 6-3 record. He's worked 97 in a third innings. He's allowed 72 hits, 21 runs, 17 of which have been earned. He's walked 24 and struck out 93. And he's pitched himself to a sparkling 1.57 earned run average. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off in center field wearing number 50 is Ryota Isabata. Batting second at third base is number 21, Kataro Kiyomiya. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. In the cleanup spot and playing second base is number 38, Kaz Ishii. Batting fifth in left field is number 53, Shun Mizutani. Batting sixth at first base is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Hitting seventh in right field is number 7, Go Matsumoto. Hitting eighth at shortstop is number 58, Taiki Narama. Batting ninth and doing the catching is number 23, Tori Fushimi. And they're going to be facing Kona Takahashi, who takes to the hill with a 4-5 record. He's worked 92 innings. He's allowed 89 hits, 33 runs, 29 of which have been earned. He's walked 28 and struck out 53, pitching to a 284 earned run average. Our friend Phil's in here, Joe's in here, and Gracie Lynn here tonight. We'll be back in just a couple moments as the first pitch is just around the corner right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is Koki Kitayama who is completing his tune-up tosses, and we are almost ready to get this one underway. The right-hander for the Fighters sporting a 6-3 record this year with that 1.57 ERA. What are we expecting tonight? Well, our friend Phil Cantalon kicked it off by saying the Fighters look strong. Yes, they do. But they don't have Chusei Manami on the lineup tonight. They've taken one of their bats out, and it looks like they are maybe playing a more defensive lineup here tonight, with Matsumoto in right field in his place. Although Manami can hold his ground defensively, but certainly Matsumoto has the speed to run some balls down. Well, here we go. It is Manaya Nishikawa stepping up to the plate, batting from the left side. And the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. And we are underway at the top of the hour, which would be 6 o'clock local time. Gracie Lynn asks, how's it going? And it's going pretty good as that fastball misses down and in, and the count goes even to 1-1. There is rain in our forecast up here, and that is not always the case in the middle of the summer. But we are going to have some rain here over the next little bit. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and now the count goes to 1-2. Our friend Ryan in the house here tonight. I thought he used to be the Cardinals fan, but certainly the Yankees fan is what he is pumping a fist for. Gracie Lynn says the Lions may get a win tonight. Where the Lions will get a win is in their uniforms. These uniforms are absolutely A+ in my opinion. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Nishikawa's down on strikes. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So we've got one up and one away, and that'll bring up the second baseman tonight in Keisuke Nakata. Defensively tonight for the Fighters from left to right field, Mizutani is in left. The center fielder's Isobata with Matsumoto in right. Around the horn from first to third, it is Nomura at first. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to third. Kiyomiya picks it up and he fires to first. And with another one pitch, Nakata is retired on a ground out 5-3 for the second out of the inning. We'll go through that infield again for you for the Fighters. It's Nomura at first. At second, it's Ishii. The shortstop again tonight is Narama, with the third baseman Kiyomiya, with the battery of Kitayama and Fushimi. So 2 gone here for the Lions. That brings up the right fielder Shinya Hasegawa. Hasegawa hitting .225 on the year, 6 homers and 32 runs batted in. There's a breaking ball down and away. The count is 1-0. Gracie Lynn says, are they the same uniforms as last night? Yeah, they are. I like these a lot. These powder blues. And there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count goes even at 1-1. Phil Cantillon says, in response to our Yankees fan, that he's going to see the Astros and the Yanks. Is that going to be fire Aaron Boone night? There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2. I got to tell you, with Aaron Judge injured, I'm not so sure that he is going to get canned this year. That might be Cashman's out if Judge is gone for an extended period of time. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2 to Hasegawa. Livingston pops in here and with his announcement says where to watch. Well, we're here to listen, but if you want to watch it, check out TBS, Tokyo Broadcasting System. There you go. There's a ground ball up the middle. Fielded on the run by the shortstop Narama. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Hasegawa. It's going to go down as a ground out 6-3, and he is out for the third out of the inning. Well, the Lions go quietly in their half of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. It is the Lions nothing and the Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you for listening on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. It is Fighters and Lions when we return. Well, it is another ball game here between the Fighters and the Lions. Kona Takahashi is starting his tune-up tosses. This is our friend Steve Rademacher. He'll be popping in through the stream through the night. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in 30.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order: Ryota Isobata, Kotaro Kiyomiya, and Franmil Reyes to come to bat here to start things against the right-hander Kona Takahashi, who has just completed his tune-up tosses. Takahashi, 1 game below 500 this year. After going 0 for 11 last year, no wins and 11 losses, that is. Had a very difficult season. After the 2023 campaign, Takahashi had asked the Lions if he could be posted to come to Major League Baseball, and they declined it. And he went out and put together one of the worst years, I think, probably after anybody had requested a posting. And there's a first pitch breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. But the slimmed and trimmed down Takahashi looks a lot better this year as he delivers a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count's 1-1. He's pitched well, as have the Lions pitching staff, but it's the offense and the sometimes shoddy defense of the Tokugawa-based club that has not helped their pitchers very often, and Takahashi would be one of those ones indeed. Breaking ball missed down. It's 2-1 to Isobata. Right-hander delivers again. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the first base side, and now the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Isobata. Again, the right-hander Takahashi ready to get going again. He's got a bright green glove on today, which contrasts the uniforms that they have. There's a slow breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the first base coach's box, and the count now goes to 2, or remains at 2-2 to Isobata. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Isobata batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Takahashi. He chokes up a little bit on the bat with 2 strikes. The speedy center fielder waits on the offering, and it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-2. Isobata has 19 stolen bases on the year, and he is really stamping his place as a regular in the lineup for the Fighters. There's a breaking ball swung on. This was going to be lined to the third baseman, J.D. Davis, and that is going to retire Isobata for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Kentaro Kiyomiya. And Gracie Lynn says, I bet the Lions wish they would have posted Takahashi before last year. And those are facts. I mean, you think about it, they could have probably cashed in with some money on Takahashi as well. But with that decline and not wanting to do that, there's a breaking ball that misses up and away. And on top of it, it seemed like he pouted a lot last year. He didn't get the opportunity to be posted, and he just took that with him. And sometimes that happens. It has the effect on a player's psyche. The 1-0 on the way to Kiyomiya, and it's another fastball missing upstairs. It's now 2-0. Defensively tonight for the Lions from left to right field. Watanabe's in left, Nishikawa in center, and Hasegawa in right. As there's the breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 2-1. Around the horn from first to third, Nevins at first, Nakata at second. The shortstop is Genda, and the third baseman is Davis. The battery of Takahashi and Suge, as there's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander throws. Fastball swung on, grounded softly over to short. Fielded neatly by Genda. He fires to first. And that is going to retire Kiyomiya on a ground out 6-3. So 2 up and 2 away here. And that's going to leave it all up to Franmil Reyes. And our friend Joe earlier on said Franmil Reyes, he didn't realize that Reyes was playing overseas in Japan. He did hit 30 homers for the Guardians one season. But Reyes certainly last year, a 25-game hit streak in the middle of the season, pretty much cemented his place with the Lions. There's a fastball taken upstairs for a called strike. You can see that Reyes didn't appreciate the call. The count is 0-1. Didn't say much, just the way that he leaned back and kind of yawned told you the whole story. Here's the 0-1. Fastball swung on. It's lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side, and the count goes to 0-2. Very unique stadium, this one in Hokkaido. The dome is closed today. Very rare have I seen the dome that has been opened. And in fact, when you think about it, in Fukuoka, they also have a retractable dome, and I've only seen it one time where it's been open. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 0-2. XFM says Nippon on the money line, probably a good choice. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called third strike. Oh, Reyes stood there like the house by the side of the road, and he watched that one go by for out number 3, and the Fighters go in order in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 1 complete. It is the Lions nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Hold tight. Right back. Welcome back, everybody. We have coming to bat here in the Lions' second inning will be Tyler Nevin, Rian Murata, and J.D. Davis. So 2 of the 3 hitters that are coming to bat are the American import players. Nevin in last night's game and Davis each collected a hit. As Tyler Nevin striding to the plate has got himself off to a pretty good career in Japan. I was thinking about him earlier today, as he's batting .291 with 11 homers and 46 RBIs, thinking very comparable to somebody like Brandon Laird a few years ago. And he swings at the first pitch breaking ball, lifts it into straightaway center field, coming in hard and sliding to make the catch is Isabata. And with one pitch, we have one away here, as Nevin is retired for out number 1. But I was thinking about Nevin in particular, and, not too good for AAA. Not good enough to play or to be a regular in Major League Baseball. He could probably get himself a good solid 6, 7, 8 years in Japan if he wanted to and get paid to be able to play there. And maybe say, you know what, I've had enough of the opportunities or the tries in Major League Baseball. First pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Rian Murata. Murata homered in last night's game into the left field bullpen as he waits on the offering. And this is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and now he's in the hole at 0-2. Murata hitting 189 on the year with 2 homers and 3 RBIs. Batting from the right side, here comes the pitch from Kitayama, and it's a breaking ball swung on and fouled into the designated hitter of the Lions. Murata's a big fella. It's the first time I've really seen him this year. I was really surprised at how big he was. Gracie Lynn says, how many non-Japanese players can a club sign? As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count remains at 0-2. Though there's no real limit. Each team can have 70 players signed to a professional contract. And then you have that through your farm. They also have training players and development players that also round out some of that number. There's a breaking ball that is down. They appeal to the first base umpire, and Murata's gone around on strikes. He's out for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to the third baseman, J.D. Davis. I remember it was during the 2020 season when the Hanshin Tigers had 8 import players to contracts. I think it was 4 offensive and 4 pitchers. You can only have 4 players on a game sheet and only can have 3 in the game at one time. The pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. Moshi asked the question, how long are NPB games regularly? Well, right on the NPB website, they will often keep tabs on how long the 9-inning games are. If it's extra innings, they don't do that, but typically it's around 3 hours for a 9-inning game. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 0-2 on Davis. Davis steps out, adjusts the gloves, and he's getting back into the batter's box. NPB cheerleaders, yeah, that is for certain. There's all over the place. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. The Oryx Buffaloes are the first team to have male cheerleaders in Japan. I don't know if that went over very well with the fans, but it seems to be working in Osaka. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right field, moving over towards the foul line and the wall, and making the catch is Matsumoto, and that's going to do it. As the Lions go in order again here in the second inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. And your score here as we move to the bottom of the second inning, it is the Lions nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back here in just a few. My friend Gracie Lynn says, did we see that the DH is coming in 2027? Yeah, I kind of threw up in my mouth when I saw that. I'm really disappointed to see it. But that's what's going to happen. 2027, all of the Japanese league will be with designated hitters. We'll be back in just a few right after this.
Heart says of the Amazon, hand steady.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the order coming to bat for the Fighters in their half of the second inning. Kazushi, Shin Mizutani, and Yuki Nomura come to bat here against Kona Takahashi. Yeah, the games are a little bit longer for 9 innings in the NPB, and because of that 5-minute break, we like to call Japanese halftime, it's more like the smoke break, as the fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. Especially in the Korean League, they always talk about the Korean players. I guess they smoke like dragons, as time has been called. Ishii wasn't quite set, feeling that Takahashi is working a little too quickly. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander holds again to the set, kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Early Japanese baseball games on a weeknight. It's a great thing. And there'll be another one tomorrow night, same 2 teams. Hopefully you could join us there for that one. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count 1-2 to Ishii. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Takahashi working quickly, delivers again. There's a fastball that misses way outside. The count now 2-2. Another full house at Escon Field for this one tonight. Fighters back to their traditional home uniforms. I really like those road unis that they were sporting on the weekend in Osaka, as Takahashi works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Moshi says, I don't know if it's a male or a female, but they say they're rooting for the Lions. Well, you got a couple people in here cheering for the Lions. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted into center field, and it's going to get down for the first hit of the ball game, as Ishii is aboard with a leadoff single here to start the second, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Shin Mizutani. Well, for Mizutani, he had a couple of hits in last night's ball game. He's hitting .282 on the year with 10 homers and 24 runs batted in. As he strides to the plate here, that last pitch looked like it was a split finger pitch from Takahashi. It was a good piece of hitting by Ishii to stay on the pitch. Stayed inside the ball and went the other way with it. So Mizutani steps in, ready on the first offering here from Takahashi. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into shallow right field. Coming in on it and toward the foul line and making the catch in foul territory is Hasegawa. That is going to retire Mizutani for the first out of the inning. Not a good swing on a good pitch, that's for sure. Anthony in the house. Antigun 96, I guess maybe that's what we should be calling him. He says he hammered the Nippon money line after getting taken to the cleaners on the horses. So that's unfortunate for you. But we're glad you can make it into the stream tonight. This brings Yuki Nomura to the plate. Nomura batting .252, 8 homers and 27 runs batted in. As the right-hander Takahashi ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. Fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Nomura getting the start again at first base tonight. And I'm also curious to see how the Fighters will shape up down the rest of the season moving toward the playoffs and who the big boss is going to settle on. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. Nomura had checked his swing, pulled back, but it was called by the plate umpire. Get a look at the replay on that one. Just caught the outside edge. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Again, the right-hander Takahashi nods in agreement with his catcher Suge. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down. Count goes to 2-1. So now George Cruz asked the question. We got all kinds of people that come in. Where are you watching the stream? How are you watching the stream? Well, first of all, you got to have a VPN. That's pretty simple. Secondly, if you're in the States, I honestly don't know where you can watch it because I'm not in the States. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 3-1. This game tonight, I believe, is on NHK, so That's what you want to try to look for in your searches. I believe TBS had it last night, Tokyo Broadcast System. And sometimes you can pick it up on J-Sport, but J-Sport is not carrying this one here tonight. Here's the 3-1. And stepping off the backside of the rubber is Takahashi, and now they're moving him back over to first base. Jay Chaos says he's in the States watching. Yeah, it depends on where you're able to pick it up. And I know our friend Gracie Lynn was saying that there's replays of the game the next day, but it's in Spanish on one of the stations. There comes the 3-1 pitch. And there's a fastball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and Nomura's going to draw himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second, and it's going to bring the right fielder Go Matsumoto to the plate. And just as our friend Gracie Lynn said, you can watch the replay on Fanatiz. PacificLeague.com is another place that you can go and pull up. They got all the Pacific League games there, but you got to get out your checkbook or your credit card or wherever it might be. And you better be pretty good in your Japanese, or you have to have a good translator. So runners are at first and second. Ishii, the runner, at second. Nomura, the runner, at first. Mizutani flew out to right field for the only out of the inning. One gone here, and the first offering coming to Matsumoto. As Takahashi delivers, it's a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Eric Dominguez here from Mexico. We're welcome aboard. Glad you could be here listening in. DAZN used to carry it. In fact, Amazon Prime was carrying games last year, but one of the things that was interesting about Amazon Prime is if you had a VPN, they would block you. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1 on Matsumoto. I thought that was very interesting that Amazon Prime was one of the first. I wonder when that will come with others. They detect that it's a feed that you're getting that is not necessarily you. It's almost like ad blockers where if you've got an ad blocker on YouTube, you can get yourself in trouble. There's a fastball swung on and grounded over to past the third base dugout. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matsumoto won the batting championship a couple of years ago, and it's been a steady free fall after that. He's not had a good year this year, hitting .207 entering the fray tonight. He still runs well. He still is probably one of the better defensive outfielders for the Fighters. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That's going to get a run in. Here comes the play to the plate, throw to the plate, and it is going to be offline. They gun down to second, and overrunning the bag at second is Yuki Nomura. And so that is going to get a run in. It's going to be a single for Matsumoto. He's going to collect an RBI. In to score is Ishii. And then as the runner Nomura overran the bag at second base, he gets gunned down. So that'll go into the books as a 7-2 foul putout, 7-2-4 on the putout, as he'll be retired for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the shortstop in Taiki Narama. But the Fighters have opened up the scoring here, as they did early last night, but it's a little bit different. They've done it in the second inning tonight. Friend Tim in the house here. Phil Cantelon said running into the outs. Yeah, that's not good. And that's what the Fighters were doing a couple of years ago. Shoddy defense and bad base running. First pitch is a fastball swung on. It's grounded right to Davis at third. Fields it, fires to first, and that is going to do it as Narama is going to be gone on a ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here. We'll come back and chat it up a little bit. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores were now through 2 complete innings. It is the Fighters 1 and the Lions no score. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Right back, everybody. It's time to have a beer with our friend Steve. We'll be right back in about 40 seconds.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It'll be Watanabe, Suge, and Genda to get things going here for the Lions in inning number 3. Our friend Marvin's back in the house tonight. He says, are the Lions going to win tonight? Will there be an eclipse? I'm not sure that that's going to happen here. It's a little bit of a difficult spot that the Lions are in, playing on the road as Watanabe takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. And they're running into a pretty tough arm here in Kitayama. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count now goes to 0-2 on Watanabe. Watanabe hitting .266 on the year, 2 homers and 24 RBIs for the Lions rookie. He's been dropped down out of that 3-hole for tonight's game. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that misses down. A good stop there by the catcher, Fushimi. My friend Gracie Lynn said, not quite sure how they intend to enforce a ban of something that is specifically designed to get around a geoblock. Absolutely. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul down the right field line. Gracie Lynn said tonight, if you are in the southern hemisphere, you might be able to catch a small meteor shower. I was a little choked this year. They've had the northern lights a few times, and I've never seen them. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. Tim says, how was our day today? It was okay. It was a decent day. We are getting some rain overnight here, which we don't normally get at this time of the year. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field, and moving over to make the catch is Matsumoto. And that is going to retire Watanabe for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here, and it'll bring up the catcher in Senasuge. Marvin, if you keep saying Lions are going to win today, you might speak it into existence, but you're going to have to be saying that a lot because I'm just not confident with making that call for you on that one there. The Lions are not very good. Here comes the pitch. It's a first pitch. Fastball swung on him as the count is quickly 1-1 to Suge. Suge has not played a whole lot this year. The 28-year-old is 1 for 9 on the season. Only appearing in his 4th game. There's a fastball swung on him as the count now goes to 0-2. All Rail says he got a new phone case a couple days ago. I went to one of the night markets here last Friday night, and we were kind of getting a good kick out of all the cell phone cases that were around, and you could get socks and all kinds of stuff. 0-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. Reached the seats over on the first base side. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Gracie Lynn says the rain is definitely going to help the forest fires. As that breaking ball is swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. That is correct. That'll definitely help. There was one time last week that they had about, I think they said there was 84 fires in the province, and then they practically doubled overnight. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving over underneath it is Isobata. And he's there to make the catch, and that's going to retire Suge for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Sosuke Genda. Gracie Lynn says, without sounding like a smartass, she wants to know the difference between a night market and a day market. That's a great question. I'm not really sure exactly the difference in the night market. Certainly, they go off in the evenings and at night. It's mainly food and trinkets and that type of stuff that's available. And there's a first pitch breaking ball that misses to Genda for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. There's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Genda. NY Napoli says Nippon 1.5 for his paycheck. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, and is going to be lined foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-2 on Genda. Well, -1.5 for the Fighters tonight. I would think that they are in a place where they could do some damage to that. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third. Oh, nice play by Kiyomiya. He throws to first, and holding on to the bag is Nomura, and that is going to do it. Ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning, and we've had 9 batters come to the plate for the Lions and 9 batters retired in a row to start the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now through 2.5 innings. It is the Fighters 1, the Lions no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Mariano Rodriguez says his kids need to eat today, please. There you go. Well, put your pesos down on this one, and we'll be back here in just a few after this. Welcome back, everybody. Nicholas Cardelli says -1.5 to clear student loan debt. That's kind of funny. That and to feed your kids. It is going to be Tori Fushimi, Ryota Isobata, and Kotaro Kiyomiya to come to bat here to start the third inning. And the first pitch breaking ball misses down to Fushimi for ball one. The catcher of the Fighters hitting .260 on the year with a couple of homers and 10 RBIs. Takes a fastball down. Counts 2-0. Tim asks if Gracie's from Canada. She's actually in Costa Rica half of the year, which is where she's at now. And the other half of the year, she's an Alabama gal. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted into deep left field. Moving back underneath it and making the catch on the warning track is Watanabe. And that is going to retire Fushimi for the first out of the inning. So one gone here. Mariano says, who is the best player playing right now? In this game here tonight? Well, I think that the lineup really for the Fighters is a loaded lineup. And if I had to say who the best player for them is, you could argue Franmil Reyes when he's going well, certainly as the DH. First pitch is a fastball swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. A lot of people like Kotaro Kiyomiya, but I don't think he's having as good a year as he's had in past. I like the way that Isobata is playing. So probably Reyes right now with the bat would be the pick. And maybe Kitayama, the pitcher, as that pitch misses down and the count is 1-1 to Isobata. Pitch on the way, another fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander Takahashi ready to go. He kicks and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. I would argue and say Tyler Nevins probably played the most consistent for the Lions, who's hitting just a bit below 300. As the pitch is a breaking ball missing outside and the count runs full to Isobata. Although another player who's having a nice season is the top of the order hitter Manaya Nishikawa for the Lions, so he might be my other choice. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains full to Isobata. All Rails asked the question, is Genda playing for the Lions today? Yeah, he is. He didn't play in last night's game. And I actually don't know who the captain for the Lions is this year. They've taken the C off of Genda's jersey. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains full to Isobata. Part of that would probably be the off-field shenanigans. Obviously, he's got a young family at home, and it was well documented that when he was at the Premier 12 tournament, I think it was the Premier 12, he had his girlfriend with him. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined up the middle for a base hit. Isobata's aboard with a leadoff, or a one-out single, I should say, here to start to be one-out single here in the third inning. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. Mariano says, is there a stream to watch the game? We talked about this earlier in the chat tonight, so you'd have to kind of rewind to where that would be, but there's different options that you can go and take a look at. NHK is your best bet tonight, and you've got yourself the PacificLeague.com. Either option, you have to get your wallet out. So here comes the first offering to Kiyomiya, but instead Takahashi steps off and feigns over to first. Phil says in the States, Dingo TV has the game. And now Takahashi throws over to first, and diving back in time is the runner. Gracie Lynn says, what's wrong with him having his girlfriend with him at the Premier 12? Absolutely nothing, but you have to explain that to his wife. And the 3-month-old or whatever it was, 8-month-old that he had at home, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. I guess if you're going to have a mistress or a girlfriend, you got to do it a little bit more discreetly. So 1 ball, no balls and 1 strike it is here to Kiyomiya. Tim says he can't sleep tonight, so he might be in here for the whole game. Well, it depends on how the game goes. We might put you to sleep if the fighters start pulling away here. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. As the right-hander ready to deliver again. He kicks and fires. Fastball misses upstairs. Count runs even to 1-1. Yeah, that was the big stumbling block, is that Genda is married. And I think his wife, if I'm not mistaken, was a television presenter or some sort of personality in Japan. As again, they throw over to first base, and again diving back is Isobata. Isobata looking for his 20th stolen base of the year. He's got 19 so far. And one would expect that he's probably, by the end of the season here, he'll be pushing 30, I would think. As the right-hander Takahashi delivers, there goes the runner, but he slams on the brakes, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike to Kiyomiya. So far tonight, much better than last night. The game last night got out of hand in a hurry. As far as stolen bases are concerned, Yukio Shudo is still the number 1 in the Pacific League. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back just in front of the warning track and making the catch is Watanabe. Having to retreat to first is Isobata. And that is going to put 2 in the books here for the Fighters. That'll bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. But Isobata is 4th right now in stolen bases in the Pacific League. It is Hirota Kobakata is 2nd at 26. Manaya Nishikawa for the Lions has 20. He's 1 ahead of him. But I would think that Isobata, if he can continue to get on base and continue to run, as I mentioned, I could see 30 bases in his future. So this brings Reyes to the plate. He was called out on strikes his first time up. And the first pitch coming from Takahashi is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. I got to tell you, when Reyes comes to the plate, he's not happy. It's like the zone expands. I know he's a big guy, but that pitch there looked like it was up and away, and Reyes was losing his mind. I mean, that's the hardest part. You know that the import players seemingly do not get the favorable calls from the umpires. There's a fastball that misses down. There goes Isabata down to second base, and he's going to get gunned down. What a great throw by Senasuge that's going to retire Isabata for the third out of the inning, caught stealing 2-6. And that is going to do it here in the third inning for the Fighters. They had no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 3 complete. A third of the game is in the books. Your score is the Fighters 1 and the Lions no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate everybody for checking in with us tonight on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Lions. Only 36 pitches here delivered so far by the right-hander Koki Kitayama, as he has faced the minimum so far through his 3 innings of work. Some of our chat, I've missed some of that stuff. I'm just taking a look at this. Gracie Lynn said, almost as bad as the Coldplay, or the CEO getting caught at Coldplay with his girlfriend or whatever it was. Yeah, not the best of decisions. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1 to Manaya Nishikawa. Nishikawa 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up as he waits on the offering. And there's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Gracie Lynn says, who spiked her chocolate milk? Well, there you go. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, is grounded over to third. Fielded neatly by Kitayama. He fires to first. It's a ground out, 5-3. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Keisuke Nakata. We're talking about when the season ends. And so, yeah, usually late September or early October. So as of right now, it is October the 4th when the season would go. There's a fastball popped up over on the first base side as it was an attempted bunt by Nakata. It's going to be caught by Nomura, and just like that, we've got 2 gone here. So 2 are away here, and that is going to bring up the right fielder in Shinya Hasegawa. Well, the Hiroshima Carp have announced some of their makeup games, and they are the ones that are going to go off on the Friday and the Saturday. They play the Swallows on the 3rd and the 4th of October. And basically the way it works is when the season is done, you've got till October the 10th to get all your makeup games done. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Hasegawa. Hasegawa grounded to short his first time up. So any rainouts between now and pretty much the end of the season are generally made up at the end of the year, or possibly on some Mondays in September. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-0. They don't play double headers in the Japanese league. I can understand why. I mean, I don't think that they would benefit by being able to play doubleheaders. It's no revenue advantage in doing that, as that pitch misses upstairs. It's now 3-0 to Hasegawa. So 3 balls and no strikes as the right-hander rocks into the motion and delivers. There's a fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. Kaneyama goes back to the rosin bag. So 3 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander rocks and delivers. And there is a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes full to Hasegawa. The first game of the Climax Series in the Central League and in the Pacific League will go off on October the 11th. And they go the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded on the backhand by the second baseman. The throw is in the dirt, and the umpire says safe. It was a tough play there by Kaz Ishii as he was going away from the bag. He threw it. It was on one hop that it was picked up by Nomura. I'm going to see if they're going to challenge this or not. We're going to get a look at the replay ourselves. But if this stands, that will be the first hit of the ball game for the Lions. He had to go to the left field side of second base. Yeah, and it's no dispute there. Hasegawa, with his speed, was able to run it out. So he's got himself a base hit, and that is going to bring up the first baseman in Tyler Nevin. Well, Nevin tonight, he's 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first time out, and there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1. As the right-hander again ready to go. Throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner. A little behind on our chat here. Question from Moshi is, why are the Lions so trash? Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball. It catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 0-2. Nevin sure didn't like that call. Yeah, when you think about the Lions were pretty dominant all through the 90s and the early 2000s. They were winning championships left and right. They built the dome on the stadium, or they added the dome to the stadium in the late 90s. They got a beautiful facility, indoor training center. They've got their second team field up on the top of the hill on the other side as they throw to first base, and diving back in time is Hasegawa. And you'd say, well, why is it? Why do the teams not want to come there? Why do they not want to play there? And the reality of it is that it's an open air dome, so it's not like it's air conditioned like the Tokyo Dome. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 1-2. It is like sitting in a bowl of soup sometimes. I can only imagine playing in it. And they have a hard time keeping their players. I don't know if it's because they don't want to pay them. But you think of their stars in the last 15 years, and guys have left and right, especially over the last 6 or 7. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball down. There goes the runner down to second. The throw, is it in time? Yes, it is. The runner, Hasegawa, tried to swim the shortstop, Narama, on the tag, but that is to no avail. It's going to be caught stealing. 2-6 on the putout for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here. As the Lions go unconventionally 1-2-3, there was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score is the Lions trailing the Fighters 1-0, and we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this little timeout. We got a 1-0 lead as it is moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be right back after this timeout with all the action in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Franmil Reyes, Kaz Ishii, and Shin Mizutani to come to bat. Jacob Garcia says he's got the Ham Fighters on money line. Should he feel safe and go to bed? Not unless you've had a few whiskeys, because this 1-0 lead, and they are hanging around here right now, are the Lions. There's a first pitch breaking ball delivered to Reyes. He swings and misses, and the count is 0-1. Reyes was up to bat when Isabata was caught stealing in the third inning. As the right-hander Takahashi ready to go again. He works himself into the set position. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on a chop foul over on the first base side. The count is 0-2. Phil says Lions fans in the crowd are going wild. Yeah, the visiting teams travel, and it's interesting, depending upon where you go, the Fighters crowd or the visitors that go see the games in Saitama, there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. And that is going to retire Reyes for the first out of the inning. So one gone here. That'll bring up the second baseman in Kaz Ishii. Lions fans in the crowd going wild. The games in Hiroshima, they stick the crowd or the visitors in the upper deck in the left field in the last section, way down the left field line. The games in Yokohama, it is left field as well, and usually they get like 3 or 4 sections in the outfield. It's pretty impressive. So there's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1 to Ishii. Some teams travel better than others. Certainly a team that really travels well is the Hiroshima Carp. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-1. Well, we appreciate Moshi for being here. Thank you for joining us, as well as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Ishii, the batter here, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He has scored the only run for the Fighters so far. And there is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to get looped over the head of the second baseman. It's going to get down into right field. And Ishii's aboard. He's got his second hit of the ball game. It's only the 4th hit so far for the Fighters, and he's got half of them. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Shin Mizutani. Phil says it's funny that they get placed in the cheap seats. Yeah, it's like going to soccer games. You know, if you ever go to a soccer game and you're the road visiting team, they always get the end zone seats or off to the side or wherever it might be. So Mizutani stepping to the plate with 1 out and a runner at first. He's flew out to right field his first time up. Takahashi holding set now delivers. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. Yeah, the fan segregation, I'm mixed on it. I mean, I like it in some ways because it keeps the hooliganism and the fan violence down. Certainly the way that they've got it now in Europe. North America, people just sort of mingle with each other. They don't have that same core passion. There's a breaking ball down, and they peel over to the first base umpire, but they said that Mizutani didn't go. It runs the count now to 2-0. I was at a game at Heredia, and I think it was they were playing Saprissa in a U21 match, and the hooligans for Saprissa attacked the police. I guess, what was it, with broomsticks and whatever. How you get into a game with broomsticks, I don't know. They attacked the police during the game. It was pretty crazy as that breaking ball misses down. It's 3-0 to Mizutani. Here comes the 3-0 offering. It's a fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count is 3-1, but that's going back some 20 some odd years ago. Can you imagine if people were showing up with broomsticks to watch Major League Baseball games? It would be absolutely crazy. Flagpoles, whatever else. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Takahashi kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's going to hang up enough for the right fielder Hasegawa to make the catch. And retreating back to first is Ishii. So Mizutani gone for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Yuki Nomura. Well, for Nomura, he officially doesn't have an at-bat tonight. He walked and was retired when he overran the bag at second base on the base hit by Go Matsumoto his last time up. As he bats here facing Takahashi for the second time. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. This is the only game currently going on in the NPB right now. All the other games are later starts. As the right-hander Takahashi delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to the right side. Fielded neatly by the second baseman Nakata, who throws to first. That's going to be a ground out 4-3. And that'll do it here in the 4th inning for the Fighters. So back to Phil Cantillon's earlier comment. The Lions are hanging around here. So this would make me a little bit nervous if I was a Fighters fan. I wouldn't have expected tonight that the over-under might have been under through the first 5. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We're moving to the top of the 5th. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Your score is the Fighters 1 and the Lions no score. We'll be back in just a few. Hang tight, everybody. Glad you're with us here tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Tyler Nevin, Rion Murata, and J.D. Davis, which is the heart of the batting order to come to bat for the Lions in inning number 5. Fred Phil says he's listening to me and watching the game. He wants to attend an NPB game now. It's on the bucket list. Well, in another couple of weeks, I'm going to get some of the games in the Chinese Professional League off of my hit list. I'm trying to get to about 2 or 3 games. 2 or 3 different stadiums anyways. There's a first pitch breaking ball that is missed outside to Phil Nevin for ball 1. Nevin 0 for 1 tonight, lined to center his first time up. He was left stranded at the plate when Hasegawa was thrown out trying to steal second in the last inning as that breaking ball misses up and it's now 2-0. Can't say that the Chinese Professional League was ever on my hit list or at least on my bucket list as that fastball is swung on and lifted foul. But then I can say I've been a part of baseball or I've seen baseball in a multitude of different countries. That would be in Japan live. It'll be in Taiwan live. It'll be Canada, the U.S., and, of course, Germany and the Czech Republic and in Austria. So now we can knock 7 or 8 off my list. Phil asks if I'm going to see the Rakuten Monkeys. It's a good question. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. I was just looking at the calendar the other night and who I would get a chance to be able to see, or at least who I might be planning to see. I figure I might try to get to about 3 games. I don't know the league as well. There's really only a couple players that were former MLB and NPB players that I would know. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, but not deep enough. Coming in and making the catch is Mizutani. And just missing it was Nevin, as he's going to be retired for the first out of the inning. So he is gone for out number 1. So just looking ahead at the schedule, the Taipei Dome is going to have some games, and that's where I'm going to try to catch a couple of, or at least one of the games. I'm going to try to get to see a game in Kaohsiung as well while I'm there. That would be the Hawks, who are their team. And there's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to short, and Rian Murata is going to be retired on one pitch, ground out 6-3. So 2 quick outs here in the 5th inning, and that's going to leave it up to the third baseman and J.D. Davis. So to answer your question, the Rakuten Monkeys would be playing the TSG Hawks. That would be one of the opponents that I would see. And then it'll be a couple of games at the Taipei Dome. I think the China Trust Brothers would be one of the teams. Another team that I'll see would be the Dragons. And I think there'd be another one that I'm going to get a chance to see as well there, potentially at the Dome as well, as there is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Davis. I think the other one that I would get a chance to see is potentially the Monkeys and it looks like the Dragons again. But again, you'll have to wait and see. I hear the atmosphere is still supposed to be pretty good, even in Taiwan, as that pitch is swung on and grounded foul. Count is 1-1. We obviously have the Korean influence and the Japanese influence on those games. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside. Count goes to 2-1. Moshi wanted to know if there was any other picks for the rest of the NPB slate today, if anybody had one. 2-1 on the way. Fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted foul into the seats on the first base side. Count remains now 2-2 to Davis. Tim says he'd like to become a Bay Stars season ticket member, but can't do that. As the 2-2 is on the way, there's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Davis stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by, and that is going to retire the Lions here in their half of the 5th inning. They go in order yet again. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're officially halfway through this one. It is the Fighters 1, the Lions no score. Stay with us, everybody. The bottom of the 5th is just around the corner. And we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters in the bottom half of inning number 5. And for those of you who like to put your pesos, your colones, your dollars, or your yen on the games, well, this is an important inning for some people as they do make their picks for the first 5 innings. And a 1-0 ball game that we have on our hands here would probably right now be the under in this one. And I don't know if I would have maybe taken that based on the play of the Lions in last night's game. Our friend Tyler Harvey asked the question, are the Lions really bad or something? Well, they're not great. They were absolutely horrendous last year. They played better this year. In fact, they got out of the gates a lot better. Last year in August, they were on pace to lose 100 games, which has been a while in the Japanese league, specifically when you only play 143. First pitch, fastball delivered to Go Matsumoto, taken for a called strike, counts 0-1. Matsumoto singled and drove home the only run back in the 2nd inning. He is batting from the right side here against Takahashi, and there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to second. Fielded neatly by Nakata, who throws to first, and Matsumoto's gone on a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up the shortstop in Taiki Narama. One thing I did buy is, and I still haven't, it's still sitting in the box right near my feet here. I bought a gimbal and a DJI gimbal or DJI gimbal. Breaking ball misses outside. And the count is 1-0. And that's usually the cue. When Gracie Lynn is tapping out, that's when the game goes haywire. So there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. Our next stream will be tomorrow night. Same two teams, another midweek game, same start time. So hopefully you can pop in at least for an hour or so on the channel. It'd be great to have you with us. Gracie Lynn always keeps us entertained. And thanks for sending along that information earlier today on the Central American Soccer, as that fastball misses down and in. It's now 3-0 to Narama. Gracie Lynn blowing up my inbox with her Latin American soccer picks. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Narama. Gracie Lynn said, any MLB Wednesday day or night games? No, it's going to be just the Fighters and the Lions tomorrow night again, and then I'll have to wait and see what we're going to do on Thursday or Friday. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Genda, who throws to first. And Narama's retired on the ground out 6-3, so 2 gone here. And that'll bring up the catcher in Tori Fushimi. Well, we look forward to having you back in. Our friend, also Jimmy Redbeard in the house. Sorry, Jimmy. Must have completed his rounds, and he's here today. Great to have you in there, Redbeard. So Fushimi coming to the plate 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown out to left his first time up. Pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Fushimi. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 2 gone here. 1-0 lead for the Fighters. Pitch on the way, breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2 on Fushimi. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Takahashi at 73 pitches now. That was the question that came up earlier. How many pitches is he at? As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on his chop foul over to the third base coach's box. And the count remains at 0-2. Just as a reminder, after this half inning, we will take a break, as it is a 5-minute break in between innings. As the 0-2 pitch ready to come from Takahashi again. As Gracie Lynn is tapping out. That's usually, as I said, that's the cue when all heck breaks loose. When Gracie Lynn leaves, the runs start pouring across the board. And that breaking ball misses down to Fushimi. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Takahashi ready to go again. He delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Grounded over to third. A nice play by Davis. He scoops it up and fires to first. And that is going to retire Fushimi on a ground out 5-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in the 5th. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're through 5 complete. Your score is the Fighters 1 and the Lions no score. Everybody, it is what we like to call Japanese halftime. And what does that mean? It means we're putting the music on loop. We're going to take a break, refresh our beverage, and come back and call the back half of this ball game for you when we return. 1-0 Fighters as we move to the 6th. 1-0 as we move to the top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat here for the Lions in their half of the 6th inning, and it'll be Watanabe, Suge, and Genda. It is a 1-0 ball game. 1-4-0 for the Fighters, 0-1-0 for the Lions. Kitayama has faced the minimum so far in this one. He has allowed the one hit, and Hasegawa was erased when he was caught stealing. Our friend Moshi says, how long do you think Kitayama goes for tonight, and how is the Fighters' bullpen? Well, to be truthful, I think he could probably give him a good solid 7 or 8 innings. And the Fighters' bullpen is generally a lockdown. It is pretty decent. They can run a bunch of guys out of there throwing upwards of 90 to 100 miles an hour. And so that is where we're at. Our friend All Rails likes the clips. Yeah, you know what? I have to tell you, I got to do some more of my B-roll stuff and be able to add some different clips in. I think it'd be kind of funny to add a few more pieces to the stream, maybe not even baseball related. And I'll have to get out and do a little bit of editing on some of that stuff as well. It brings back some pretty good memories. Only 61 pitches through the 5 innings for Kitayama. So what do I think? I think he's probably got himself another 2 to 3 innings left in him before they have to turn it over to the pen. He has been able to keep the hitters off balance. And as I said, only the one blemish was the base hit there by Hasegawa. It was an infield single up the middle. And so we'll see how this all goes. I definitely enjoy doing some stuff. And as I've mentioned before, I bought a gimbal. And so I'm kind of interested to play with it here a little bit before I go. I might try to do that this weekend or later in this week. Maybe we can get ourselves some good video, especially when we're in Taiwan, to add ourselves to the stream. Maybe not to the NPB stuff, but certainly for the Taiwanese league and the games that we'll attend and the stadiums that we'll go to. And honestly, I really don't know what to expect when I'm there. I can say I hope for the best. Hopefully the Taiwanese league is all that it can be. Well, this brings Watanabe to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown to right field in his only trip, hitting from the right side here against Kitayama, who rocks and delivers. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Watanabe standing in and waiting, and there's a breaking ball swung on. He rolls it over to short and is fielded neatly by the shortstop, Narama, who fires to first, and Watanabe's in the books on the ground out, 6-3. So 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up the catcher in Senasuge. One of the things I did, and I probably should have looked at it, I had some pretty interesting food when you get to the games too. I've never been to a stadium where food will sell out. And certainly that is the case in Japan. They make everything fresh. As the first pitch on the way to Suge is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball. Count is 1-0. Suge flew out to center field his first time up. As Kitayama rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul straight behind home plate, and the count goes even at 1-1. But one of the most interesting things I tried when I was at the Tokyo Dome a few years ago, and it was a quail egg surrounded by chicken and curry. It was like deep fried. There was a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. It was an absolute awesome piece. It reminded me of a Scotch egg without all the sausage wrapped around it. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is, but that had to be one of the more unique things that I'd tried. There's a fastball that swung on. This is going to be lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. There's all kinds of different types of noodles that you can get at the games, and depending upon where you're at, different stuff as well. Our friend Tyler says, how's JD Davis been doing? He hasn't heard his name in a while. There's a ball grounded foul past the bag at third base, and the count remains at 1-2. Well, Davis has only got about 40 at-bats, and he's not off to the greatest start. So, I mean, he's hitting around, I think tonight, entering the game tonight, Davis was hitting an even 200. So he had only had like 8 hits in his 40 at-bats, and he's 0 for 2 in this one here tonight. So kind of hitting the same way he did toward the end of his career in the MLB. There's a breaking ball, waved that and missed, and Suge's down on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the shortstop with Sosuke Genda. So I guess the only thing I would say about with Davis is you better get going quickly, or you might find yourself out of the NPB just as fast as you're out of the Major League Baseball. Be back on the unemployment line again. It's too bad because I kind of like Davis a bit, both with the Mets and even his short time with the Giants. But he only really had a couple of seasons that you could say were good at the top flight. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Yeah, the Fighters are certainly, as that fastball swung on it, is lined into left field. This ball could be trouble. Mizutani on his horse, and he reaches up and makes an over-the-shoulder catch, and Genda's going to be retired for the third out of the inning. And that's going to do it here for the Lions in the 6th inning. They got no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. And your score here, as we move to the bottom of the 6th, it is a 1-0 game. Our friend Allrail says he likes the Fighters PA announcer. Yeah, I think he's an English guy who does their PA in Hokkaido. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. It is a 1-0 game between the Fighters and the Lions. We'll be back in just a few after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Fighters in the 6th inning, and that would be Ryota Isabata, Kentaro Kiyomiya, and Franmil Reyes to get things going here. As that will be the top of the order to face the right-hander Kona Takahashi. They're talking about different things. I was saying about buying the gimbal. As I say, I don't do a lot of video stuff, and hopefully maybe that'll improve my video game. Also have to learn a little bit about how to shoot some video, and I've been doing a little bit of that as well, the pans and how to create a good shot. So we'll see how that works. There's a first pitch fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. lot of people on YouTube, you take it for granted that there is an art to cinematography, I guess you would say it. As that breaking ball misses up and the count is 2-0. It's not just pointing and clicking. You got to have a pretty good eye and got to be able to do some things that way. 2 balls and no strikes to Isabata, who was 1 for 2 tonight. He was gunned down trying to steal second back in the 3rd inning, and there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. That looked like it was a split finger variety from Takahashi. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count is 2-2 to Isobata. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow night, back at it again. We may squeeze a major league game in on Thursday. I'll have to take a look at the schedule. That would be an earlier start. And then Friday night, there is the possibility that we'll do a Japanese game, but we won't do one on Saturday this week. Breaking ball misses outside. I'm going to try to get down to Seattle, either to see the Mariners, or if I don't feel like going all the way down, I may go catch the Aqua Sox play on Saturday night, which is the Class A team. I believe they might be playing Hillsborough. There's a fastball swung on it, is chopped over to first, fielded neatly by Phil Nevin, and that is going to retire Isabata. It's a ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. All Rails says, I was in film class in high school. I took screen ed as well, but we really didn't have the technology that there is today. It's just so much at our fingertips. As the first pitch is delivered, it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Kiyomiya. You think of Kodak for years was a big company that did film and cameras in the United States, and basically they got run out of business because they couldn't stay up with the times. Pretty amazing stuff. Our friend All Rail said he started to film Trains, which is the song that is played for by the Lions. If you ever look at, there's a song called Train Train. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. This ball is going to be trouble, and this ball is going to be gone. A home run for Kentaro Kiyomiya. That ball left the yard in a big-time hurry. It's going to be his 9th of the year. And for those of you who have got the 1.5, you've just pumped a fist, because that's increased the lead now to 2-0 on the solo shot here by Kiyomiya. A little bit of insurance here for the Fighters, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. So 2-0, the Fighters have the lead. High fives all the way around for the Fighters here. So if the Fighters are going to cover the 1.5, there you go. If you've taken the Fighters not to cover the 1.5, well, start chewing your fingernails. Get a little nervous. This is going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. Or is it? We're going to get a pinch hitter, it looks like, for Reyes. His night's going to be done. Very interesting here. And the first pitch is a breaking ball. This is going to be the shortstop, or typically the shortstop. This is Mizuno. So interesting that Reyes' day is done. So Katsuki Mizuno here to pinch hit. Count quickly 0-1 as he swung at the first pitch. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count goes even at 1-1. Caught me a little bit by surprise, although it wasn't the best night at the office for Reyes. He had struck out looking twice back-to-back. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman Nakata, who throws out Mizuno on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the second baseman in Kazunori Ishii. Well, for Ishii, he's had himself a night at the plate tonight. He's 2 for 2. He has also scored a run. He scored the first run of the game for the Fighters. Breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-0. Yeah, it really wasn't quite the explosion. When we said Gracie Lynn was leaving, that's when the offense starts. We really haven't had the explosion yet. Seems like every time Gracie Lynn leaves, the offense goes a little wild. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1 to Ishii. There's a breaking ball that is down, and the count is 2-1. Well, Seibu is obviously one of the train companies. That's the ownership of the Lions. And they have Train. I'll get the group for you, and you can listen to it on YouTube. They have a video. There's a fastball swung on. It's not a recent song. And this is going to be lined into right field. And Ishii's got himself his third hit of the ball game. So he is aboard here. I think it's the Blue Hearts is the name of the group. It's that is the name of the group. So you want to go Blue Hearts, Train. It was from 1988. And you can listen to it. It's a pretty cool song, actually. I was actually thinking of burning one of my nights and making it where my game would be demonetized because I would use that video as the intro, or use the song as part of the video in the intro. So this is Mizutani at the plate, and the first pitch breaking ball is swung on, and he's popped it up into shallow right field. Coming in on it and moving toward the foul line and making the catch is Hasegawa, and Mizutani is gone for the third out of the inning. That's the third time tonight he has flown out to right field, as he has made Hasegawa's night fairly easy. 1 run in the inning here on the home run by Kiyomiya. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. It is the Fighters 2 and the Lions no score. The top of the 7th is just around the corner. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We'll appreciate you guys for listening in, and we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. 2/3 of the game is in the books. It is 2-0 for the Fighters over the Lions. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this timeout.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Lions to begin inning number 7. Nishikawa, Nakata, and Hasegawa to face the right-hander Kitayama, who has been brilliant in his first 6 innings of work. Right-hander rocks and delivers the first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. 71 pitches through 6 innings for the right-hander, as he is ahead in the count here to Nishikawa as he rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, they do a pretty cool introduction. The girls in, or the cheerleaders in Saitama, they all come out and they do the song and they run the video up on the big screen as that fastball misses up and away. Count is 1-2 to Nishikawa. So the fans or the people in the stands, they get a good charge out of it. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Nishikawa's in the books for the second time by a strikeout tonight. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Keisuke Nakata. Well, for Nakata, he is officially 0 for 2. He's grounded out, and he has popped out in his 2 trips to the plate. the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside to Nakata, and the count is quickly 1-0. All Rail says he wished the MLB would have cheer songs. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 2-0. Well, some teams do. You can go and look them up from yesteryear. The one I think about is the New York Mets song, Meet the Mets. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into center field. Coming in underneath it is Isabata as he calls everybody else off, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Nakata for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here for the Lions. It's going to leave it all up to Shinya Hasegawa. The Detroit Tigers back in '84, when they restored the Roar, had a pretty cool song. It was Bless You Boys was the song, and was pretty popular in the Michigan area. And every once in a while, you'll hear teams will have songs that will come out. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and away. Hasegawa is the only one of the Lions tonight who has had a hit here against Kitayama, and he was erased when he was trying to steal second in the fourth. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field, and again, Isabata going to work here, making the catch, and that is going to do it. And the Lions are going to be gone here in their half of the 7th inning. Well, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. And so far, Kitayama has faced the minimum here tonight through 7. And your score is the Fighters with a 2-0 lead. Our friend Moshe asked earlier, said, do you think Kitayama can go all the way, or how deep do you think he can go? The way it's going right now, he'll probably come out for inning number 8 and 9 as well. We'll be right back in just a few. Your score is 2-0 as we move to the bottom half of inning number 7. Time for some Take Me Out to the Ball game right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Kona Takahashi has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action here, going to the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Yuki Inarama, Go Matsumoto, and Taiki Inarama to come to bat here, or at least slated to come to bat here for the 7th inning for the Fighters. Nomura is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has grounded to second. He walked and was gunned down when he overran second base on the base hit by Matsumoto back in the 2nd. And there is a fastball that misses down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. Nomura batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Takahashi. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up. It's on the infield, and it's playable. Camping out underneath it, now in foul territory, is Phil Nevin, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Nomura. He's going to be gone for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the right fielder and Go Matsumoto. Our friend Allrail says, remember Timmy the Trumpet for Edwin Diaz. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty neat entrance. I have to tell you, the entrance for Johan Duran that he's been using now that he's in Philadelphia, that's pretty impressive too. And he gets all the lights out. I'm not sure what that song is, but throwing 102 miles an hour. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0 to Matsumoto. I saw reports a couple weeks ago that Aroldis Chapman has stated that he wants to go and finish his career in Japan. How cool is that to bring Aroldis Chapman over there? That'd be kind of neat to see him extend his career a little bit. There's a breaking ball that swung on it, is sliced down the right field line, giving chase, but it's going to reach the seats. Giving chase was Hasegawa. It's going to run the count now even to 1-1 on Matsumoto. Matsumoto has driven in one of the 2 runs tonight for the Fighters, as he had singled home Ishii back in inning number 2. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Takahashi. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. It was Aroldis Chapman who was the one who had said that he's going to finish his career in Japan. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2. Yeah, can you imagine Aroldis Chapman completing his career in the NPB? I hope he does it when he's got a little bit left in his game. Like, I wouldn't want to see him go over there and not have anything left. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and knifed foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2. Always a big fan of Aroldis Chapman. That was pitch number 99 from Takahashi as he's about to approach the triple-digit mark. And I would expect that maybe this could be his last inning. Definitely a quality start here for the Lions right-hander. There's another fastball swung on, and this is lifted foul down the right field line. Yeah, unfortunately, he's not throwing that hard anymore. Not at 105, that's for sure. But he can still dial it up to 100 at times. But still, in the upper 90s to be able to go over there. You think about Roberto Osuna and what he did in his first 2 years in the NPB. Pretty impressive. Here's the 2-2. Fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. Matsumoto, he stood there like the house by the side of the road, watched it go by for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Taiki Narama. Well, Narama, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to third and grounded to short in his 2 trips. And the first offering from the right-hander Takahashi is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander ready to go again. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count runs even to 1-1 on Narama. No sign of anything in the bullpen, as it is still Koki Kitayama up and throwing in front of the dugout, so we'll see him for the 8th. There's a breaking ball swung on and another one tap foul over on the third base side. 1-2 it is here to Narama. If you've just joined us, the scoring has been as follows. It was an RBI single from Matsumoto in the second inning to open up the scoring, bringing home Kaz Ishii. And in the bottom of the 6th, Kataro Kiyamiya had hit a home run to make the scoreline 2-0. There was a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say Narama didn't go. And the count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. I don't know. I have to say it kind of looked like he did make it all the way around, but the first base umpire didn't agree on that one. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As again, Takahashi ready to throw his 106th pitch. Fastball misses down, and it's now 3-2. Wanted to see how many pitchers in Major League Baseball have gone into over the 110 pitch mark. Earlier on, we saw Valdez and Eric Fetty had done it. There was a breaking ball grounded foul over on the third base side. Count remains 3-2. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to pick up to see if there's been anybody else that has gone over 110 pitches in Major League Baseball this year. Not sure where I was able to locate that, but my guess would be Framber Valdez could probably do it again. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. Takahashi wanted to pitch. So did his catcher, Senasuge. That's going to be ball 4 as Narama's going to earn himself a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up the catcher in Tori Fushimi. I'm going to get a look at the replay on that one. They wanted the pitch, but they were begging. That pitch did look like it was down upon the replay. So Narama is going to make his way to first base. It brings Fushimi to the plate, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to left, and he has grounded to third in his 2 trips. Last night it was Yuya Gunji behind the plate. We've been used to seeing, on the weekend game, it was Yua Tamiya. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. That breaking ball might have looked better than the fastball that was just called a strike. Phil says it was pretty close for sure. And here comes the 0-1 offering on the way to Fushimi. Another fastball taken for the called strike at the knees. And the count quickly is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. By my books tonight, Takahashi has 3 strikeouts. And he has only walked 2 batters to this point. So he's been around the zone. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. And that ball 4, and all of a sudden now you're over 110 pitches. So I wonder what the Lions will have up their sleeve in the bullpen. I don't think we're going to see Kai Mataira because he usually comes in to close the deal. Split finger pitch swung on, grounded to short. Genda throws to second. And they're going to get the runner on a fielder's choice, but hold up here. Let's see if they're going to review it. High fives all the way around. I'm going to see what the big boss is going to do. Is he going to want to look at this one here? It doesn't look like it. Going to be a fielder's choice, 6-4 to erase Dorama. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here in the 7th for the Fighters. No runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the 8th inning, it is the Fighters 2, the Lions no score. And there looks like there's going to be a change. Also looks like Franmil Reyes is the most unhappy player in the dugout, despite the fact that they are winning 2-0. He got yanked after striking out looking on back-to-back strikeouts. We'll be right back in just a few with all the action after this. Your score is 2-0 for the Fighters. We'll be back in just a few. Looks like there's a couple of changes coming for the big boss, but I'd be shocked if it was the pitcher on the hill. We'll be right back after this from our good friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have Lira. We have Yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Phil Nevin coming to the plate, and he swings at a first pitch breaking ball, and the count is quickly 0-1. 80 pitches through 7 innings for the right-hander Kitayama, facing the American here with a 2-0 lead in the 8th. There's another breaking ball, pretty much the same pitch, also swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2 on Nevin. Nevin 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown to line to center and flown to left. As Kitayama ready to go here. Fushimi gives him the directions. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. That was a good waist pitch. Not too far out, but could have induced a swing from Nevin. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the right-hander ready to go again, he rocks himself into the delivery, and there was a fastball under the hands that is swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 1-2. Nevin, Murata, and Davis to come to bat here in the 8th inning. Lions need a base runner, and they need to get something going here. They have had very little offense tonight. 1-2 on the way. There's a breaking ball that comes up and in, and it moves Nevin off the plate, and the count now goes to 2-2. So if you are a fan of the Fighters, you're going to be happy about this one here tonight. That is for certain. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the offering. It is a breaking ball. It's come inside, and it is hit Nevin. And he is going to get himself base. We were just saying, they're going to need base runners. This is the first runner to reach base tonight. They're going to have the trainer come out and look at him. Looked like he got him on the arm in that tricep area. Looked like it was a split finger pitch, and he's got the elbow guard on. So this will be probably a short visit as they came out to check on him, but that is going to be a quick visit as he makes his way to first base. This brings Rion Murata to the plate. Murata homered in last night's ball game. All kinds of changes around for the Fighters. We'll have to get caught up for you as the big boss has gone to his bench. Definitely the left fielder is now Go Matsumoto. He's moved. There is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right left field. Moving over towards the warning track and making the catch in the corner is the left fielder Matsumoto. He's going to haul it in, and retreating back to first is Nevin. Oh, he didn't miss it by much, did Murata. He just got underneath that one, sent it to the edge of the warning track. So he's gone for the first out. I thought he got maybe enough of it, the way that ball went, but you could see the replay. He just got it off the end of the bat. He was thinking he was going to hit his second home run in as many nights. So Matsumoto chases it down. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in J.D. Davis. And here's the pitch. It is a first pitch fastball that is swung through and missed. Count is 0-1. The other changes, Kiyomiya's moved across the diamond. He's at first base. Narama is now over playing at third. It is Yazawa has moved into right field. And Yamagata is the new shortstop. So lots of changes there for the Fighters defensively as that fastball misses up and away, and the count is 1-1 to Davis. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right here, this would be a big moment for Davis if he could do something special for the Lions. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is 2-1. Certainly that would help his cause about keeping in the lineup. Moshi asked the question, who was at the 111 pitches? It's more than 111 now for the Lions starter Takahashi. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-1. And for sure, the pitcher Koki Kitayama has been outstanding here tonight for the Fighters. I would have to say, I'd hazard a guess this could be his last inning. Just the way that he's pitching right now, he's starting to throw a few more pitches than he's been used to. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered into right field. Moving over to get it is the right fielder. And it is that was a close play. As rounding second base was Nevin, they threw in behind him Yazawa with an absolute howitzer. And the ball was cut off, and it was almost a backdoor pick on or a backdoor play to be able to get Nevin. But it's going to be a base hit for Davis. Nevin is going to be safe at second. Great play there by the right fielder to get on top of the ball and fire it in. And it looks like that might be the end of the night for J.D. Davis. We may have a runner for him. So a single for him. That's only the second hit of the game for the Fighters as far as they had a conference on the mound to come out and talk to Kitayama. So they've got runners at first and second to the Lions. It's going to bring Seiya Watanabe to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He was my early season candidate for Rookie of the Year. His game's fallen off a little bit. Our friend Phil says this is starting to look like trouble. Well, they do have a pinch runner in here for Davis. I didn't get the number of the runner. We'll have to see who that is on the update in just a few. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that swung on and missed. It's Takezawa, who was the shortstop last night. That was quickly 0-1. We'll see if he stays in the game or not. Or if he's just there to run. So no balls and 1 strike to Watanabe, batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Kitayama. 93 pitches now for the fighter right-hander. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to short, sliding on one knee to make the play. Out at second, but not going to be able to turn the double play. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to erase the runner, Takezawa, at second. He's going to be gone 6-4 for the second out of the inning. Nevin is going to be safe at third. Watanabe is safe on the fielder's choice on the back end. And it is slated to bring up the catcher in Senasuge. So we'll just have to wait to see if they're going to go to the bench and look for a pinch hitter here, or if they're going to stay with Suge to hit. Suge, of course, entered the game hitting 111. He's 0 for 2 tonight, so he's now 1 for 11 on the year. So by my math, that would be 091. So I would think anybody with a pulse on the bench would probably be better. And it does look like they are going to the bench as anticipated. And it is going to be Shuta Tonosaki coming in to pinch hit. We saw Tonosaki hit last night. He's batting .213 on the year with 3 homers and 22 RBIs. And my guess is he would probably stay in the game and play third base. So Tonosaki on in here to pinch hit for the catcher Suge. There is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Tonosaki. We mentioned last night that basically Tonosaki was the second baseman the last few years for the Lions. Moved over to third base this year. And with the signing of J.D. Davis, he has now been moved to the bench. So 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. On its way, fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Runners on the corners, 2 gone here in the 8th inning. Nevin establishes his lead at third. The runner at first is Watanabe. .96 pitches now for Kitayama. Tonosaki steps out. He takes a couple of practice swings, and we're ready to go back at it again. Crowd is sitting in a bit of silence right now as they are waiting here for their defense to do its job. There's a breaking ball that misses way outside. The count now goes to 3-0. Looming on deck is the shortstop, Sosuke Genda. Lions here trying to punch a run or 2 across the board. If they can do that, we got ourselves a brand new ball game. But Kitayama trying to seal the deal here. He's been great for 7 2/3. He's trying to complete the 8th inning. Phil says the pitcher's gassed. Yeah, he's not really finishing his pitches right now. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. And there is a fastball that misses up, and that's going to be ball 4. And if that's not a telltale sign to come out and make the change, I don't know what is. But that's going to load the bases here, and it's going to bring Sosuke Genda to the plate. Yeah, you can start to see he's leaving pitches up in the zone. He's not finishing his pitches. We used to say a number of years ago that if you could read the lettering on the player's jersey, it's time to get him out of the game. If he's not getting over that front side, and that's what we're witnessing right now, getting tired, he's standing up. His release point is elevated. Now that brings Genda to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 gone. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of people sweating a 1.5 right now. Here comes the first offering to Genda as Kitayama working from the stretch. He checks the runner, and now he delivers. Fastball swung on in line, foul down the left field line. And the count is quickly 0 balls and 1 strike to Genda. And I guess if you want somebody at the plate, you probably want Genda. Genda, he seems to have some ice water in his veins when he comes up in these situations, despite the fact that he's only hitting in the low 200s. At batting in the 9th spot, he is a veteran who seems to have the knack for the clutch. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Genda. We are here in the top of the 8th inning. That was pitch number 100 by Kitayama. It is a 2-0 lead for the Fighters. No balls and 2 strikes to Genda. Bases are full of Lions. They're looking to try to claw a run across here. And here comes the 0-2 offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. Well, I don't know, but that pitch at 0-2 was a right center cut. I think Genda would want to have that one back, and Kitayama should feel very fortunate. He got away with a pitch that got way too much of the plate. So here comes that 0-2 pitch again. Let's see where he wastes it this time. 0-2 on the way. There is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. They flip it to second. It's going to be a fielder's choice, and that is going to do it. Genda bounds into the fielder's choice. Tonosaki gone 6-4 for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Lions in their half of the 8th inning. They threaten for the first time tonight and don't score. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Lions no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for listening on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is slated to come to bat here for the Fighters in the 8th inning. It'll be Ryota Isabata, Kotaro Kiyomiya, and Tatsuki Mizuno. And that is where we're at here. We're just waiting on confirmation of the pitching change for the Saitama Seibu Lions, as we believe that it is the end of the night for Kona Takahashi, who has pitched really, really well. I would anticipate that it's probably going to be the end of the night for Koki Kitayama as well. I'd be shocked to see him come back out for the 9th. I mean, we have seen stuff, but the Fighters do have a lockdown pen. And by all accounts, it looks like that his night will be done. They are going to a left-hander, are the Lions. This is going to be number 90 entering the game. This is Shota Hamaya, as he is taking over here, the 26-year-old, as he is just completing his tune-up tosses. So Shota Hamaya on in relief. Will be the second pitcher used by the Lions here in this one. A couple of defensive changes as well, as there is a new catcher, a new second baseman, and a new third baseman. I'll have to get you caught up on that as it moves along here. Sometimes here. So it is going to be at third base. It'll be Nakata is going to be playing at third. That's what it looks like here for the Lions. It'll be Takezawa will be in at second base. And it looks like Yuta Koga has moved behind the plate for the Lions right now in this one. So in the event there are more changes, we'll keep you up to date. But up to date, it's just going to be Ryota Isabata coming to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He was caught stealing in the third inning. And the first pitch from the lefty is on the way. And it is a fastball swung on it. It is lined into center field for a base hit. And Isabata is aboard with a leadoff single here to start the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Kataro Kiyomiya, who is now moved over to play first base. Well, for Kiyomiya, he is 1 for 3 tonight. He had a homer his last time up. And he has also flown to left and grounded to short as he comes to bat here with nobody out and a runner at first in the 8th inning. I'd be shocked that he'd be bunting the runners over, but you never know here with the big boss. We saw it last night with Chusei Manami. Could definitely be a possibility. Here comes the first pitch, but instead it's flipped over to first, and easily getting back is the runner Isabata. Phil Cantelon says that he could use some insurance here. Yeah, looking ahead to the Lions, it'll be the top of the order for them in the next half inning. There's a fastball swung on his tap slowly past the bag at first base, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. When this one is over, we'll give you the recap. There is no other games that are currently going on in the NPB. All of those will be a little later, about an hour and 3/4 away, for the game that will go off between the Bay Stars and the Carp. Everybody else goes off at 6 o'clock local time. There's a ground ball hit over to second. It is fielded by the second baseman. That's Takezawa. He underhand flips it to the pitcher covering as Nevin had come off the base to try to cut it off. That is going to retire Kiyomiya. It's going to go down as a ground out 4-1 on the putout, as Kiyomiya has gone for the first out of the inning. Advancing to second is Isobata. And that is going to bring up, well, it's supposed to bring up Tsuki Mizuno, as he had come in to pinch hit for Franmil Reyes. But we're going to take a look here. It looks like it is going to be another pinch hitter again. This is going to be number 43. And it is Mizuno. I thought Mizuno was hitting from the other side, but Mizuno here to face the lefty. And the first pitch coming here from Hamaya on the way is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Came in to replace Franmil Reyes in the batting order. Reyes had struck out looking in the first and in the 4th innings. And when they panned the visual of the dugout, Reyes was sitting there about as unhappy a camper as you could expect with a team leading 2-0. So here comes the 1-0 offering as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. Outfield is in shallow here. They got to be able to try to throw Isabata out at the plate. He can run a little bit. He can run a lot. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is here to Mizuno. Fighters looking for some more insurance here. They have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Amaya checks the runner at second. Checks him again. And now he delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on and it's grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is 1-2. Kevin Wynn says, what is the drive right now? Are fighters on base? Yeah, I don't know what the drive is, but Isabata is at second with 1 gone here. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mizuno. Got to keep your eye on Isobata, the lefty on the hill here. He could take off and try to take third. And he's itching like he wants to run. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And there's a backdoor throw over at second base as Sosuke Genda came in with the daylight play. And it keeps the runner at second. They are concerned about Isabata, and I would be too. Kazunori Ishii waits his turn on deck. He's had a heck of a game tonight. He's got 3 hits in his 3 trips. But he has not had to face the lefty Hamaya yet. So here comes the 1-2 offering as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you've just joined us, as we said, 2-0 is the scoreline. The home run by Kiyomiya has extended the distance in the 6th inning to give the Fighters a 2-0 lead. It has been a brilliant pitching here tonight. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's on its way. It's a fastball down. Oh, it's a nice stop there by the catcher Koga. Runs the count now to 3-2 on Mizuno. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mizuno digs back in. Amaya gets the baseball ready to go back to work. Fighters looking for a way to try to extend their lead. And the Lions, well, looking to keep this game in check. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Amaya kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted down the left field line, but it's going to slice into the seats. And again, it keeps the count at 3-2 to Mizuno. We got ourselves quite the battle here. All Rail says he's still hanging in there. TI says, is there any chance of a 7.5 total? Total what? Total hits? Total base on balls? For total runs, I would say that you got about 0 chance. I'd be shocked if that got up to 7.5. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Ready to go again. Hamaya holds set. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Mizuno's down on strikes. He's out for the 2nd out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Kaz Ishii. Kevin Wynn says, manifesting a Fighters win by a 2-run lead. 7.5 is crazy, yeah. Maybe it was a typo. Maybe you hit the wrong number. The 7 looked like a 1. That's a European 1. All right, we've got Kaz Ishii coming to the plate. He's 3 for 3 tonight. He has singled in each trip. He scored the first run of the ball game back in inning number 2. The first time facing the left-hander, and they throw back door. And oh my goodness, they almost got Isobata. Oh my goodness. The catcher, what a play there by the catcher. They went back door. Isobata got off too big. They throw down to second. If the throw would have been a little bit better, they would have had him, but it was to the right field side of second base. Going to feel a little bit disappointed. Yuta Koga almost backpicked them. Sabata, who just got a little bit too far off a second. Great throw by the catcher. And the lefty Hamaya ready again. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. Checks the runner again. Now he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. This ball could be trouble, and this ball is going to be off the wall. That's going to get a run in. Rounding second and now heading to third. A throw on the run is Nevin, and sliding in safely is going to be Ishii. I'm not sure if they're going to score that a double or a triple, but that ball was absolutely smoked. If you're looking for a player of the game, it's got to be Ishii. That's his 4th hit of the night. Unreal. Absolutely hammered that thing into left center field. And our friend Antagun96 says, yeah, kaboom. And that's what you get when you have to play your outfield in a bit shallow. It was a good job there by the left fielder, Watanabe, to play it off the wall as he did. But Ishii is going to make it all the way around. I believe it's probably going to be a double, and he's going to advance on the throws. Ball ended up getting away. Phil Nevin had picked it up and then threw sort of on the run. They couldn't apply the tag. Well, that puts the runner at third with 2 gone, and it's going to be bringing up to the plate the replacement for Shun Mizutani, because Mizutani had left the ball game. This is going to be the right fielder Yazawa. So Cody Yazawa coming to the bat here in place of Mizutani. Yazawa on the season batting .250. He's got a homer and 11 RBIs. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like he's using a torpedo bat. Fighters were one of the first teams to use it in Japan. First pitch fastball misses outside, and the count is 1-0. We've the talk of the torpedo bat really died down for quite a while in Major League Baseball. Kevin Wynn says, don't say that about the Lions coming back. And our friend Nikhil says, can the Lions win? There's a fastball at the knees, take it for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1. Tyler Harvey points out that the Lions have scored 2 runs in the last 21 innings. Exactly. Their offense is impotent at best. I don't even know if Viagra would help them score. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is here to Yazawa as the left-hander works himself to the set position. Here comes the pitch. And there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Yazawa. And Phil says that is correct. There's been some crazy stuff. They do have action in the bullpen, as the Fighters have Yanagawa up and throwing, or at least he's up. I would expect that he will probably come in for the 9th. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is hit down the first baseline. Oh, what a play by Phil Nevin. He throws it to the pitcher covering, who's not there in time, and that's going to get another run in as Ishii is going to score. That is going to be ruled as a single and an RBI for Yazawa. He had to go deep toward into the foul line into shallow right field as he fired to first base, did Nevin. He made a great play, but the pitcher late in getting over to cover. We'll get a look at this. What a boneheaded play by the pitcher of the Lions. Fantastic play there by Nevin to come up with it. And the pitcher in no man's land, he was about 3 steps shy of the bag. No way was he going to be able to catch up to Yazawa. And that is going to increase the scoreline to 4-0. So if you're watching and listening to this, maybe that 7.5 isn't unreasonable. Jeez. And here comes the first pitch to the right-handed hitting Yamagata. This will be his first at bat of the night. So Shu Yamagata batting here, hitting .202 on the year. He came in at shortstop. He had replaced Yuki Nomura in the batting order. And there's a fastball swung on. This is going to be lined right to the glove of Nevin. Oh, what a play by him. It was the Nevin inning for sure. It's too bad the rest of the group didn't show up, and that is going to do it, as that is going to retire the Fighters here in their half of the 8th. But they punched 2 more across the board, 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was a runner left. Your score as we move to the top of the 9th, that is a 4-0 Fighters lead. It is a right-hander who is heating up in the bullpen, and I fully expect that we are going to see Taisi Yanagawa when we return in just a couple of moments after this. We'll be right back, everybody. Appreciate you for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is a right-hander who is coming into the ball game, and this is number 95, Taisi Yanagawa, as he's got himself a microscopic 0.98 earned run average with 8 saves this season. So he is coming on in relief as Koki Kitayama, his night is over with. Well, let's see what the inning has to offer here. Somebody was saying in the chat that they're hoping that maybe the Lions can score a couple of runs here. Well, maybe they score 3 and tick everybody off. They won't be able to get that 7.5. You're going to not be able to get the 1.5 to cover. If you had the Fighters to do it, get people all upset all over the place, but the Fighters would still get a win. So let's see how this one is about to finish off. We have some entertainment here in the top of the ninth. So Nishikawa, Nakata, and Hasegawa to come to bat, or at least slated to come to bat. I'll have to take a look here to see exactly if there was a couple other changes. I wasn't sure if the second baseman, his night was done for the Lions. Well, it is Nakata, but he's moved over to third. So Nishikawa, Nakata, Hasegawa. And I wonder at this time, if they end up getting a couple of runners on, if we would end up seeing the big fella come in to be able to hit as well. Just taking a look here. The first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nishikawa. Would we see Takia Nakamura at some point? I don't know. Maybe to swing the bat. They got to get some runners on to do that. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul, and right away Nishikawa's in the hole at 0-2. Kevin Wynn says he's got to work in the morning, but he's sweating about this game. So here comes the 0-2 offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and line foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 0-2 to Nishikawa. Down to their final 3 outs are the Lions. They've scored 1 run here in this series so far in 17 innings. Here comes the 0-2 pitch as it's on its way. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. If you are so inclined to join us again tomorrow night, we'd love to have you back in on the stream. We'll be calling the same 2 teams tomorrow night yet again. The announced pitching matchup for tomorrow night, as the pitch is a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Nishikawa for the first out. Well, if there was a chance for the Lions to get a win, Tetsuya Imai will go tomorrow night for the Lions. We'll see what he has to offer, as he is their ace. And going for the Fighters tomorrow night will be Kota Tatsu. And for Tatsu, he was the first overall pick in the 21 draft. He is 6-1 on the year. So a tantalizing pitching matchup tomorrow. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Nakata. Nakata 0 for 3 tonight. He has grounded to third. He has popped to first and flown to center. Hitting .230 now on the season. Here's the pitch. There is a breaking ball that just misses upstairs, and the count runs even to 1-1. This game a little bit quicker than last night's game. Last night's game was just about, I believe, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Tonight, so far, we're about 20 minutes quicker. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle into center field for a base hit. And the Lions have life as Nakata is aboard with a 1-out single. That's going to bring up the right fielder in Shinya Hasegawa. The Lions need runners. That is for certain. And just as we talked about, it was interesting. You know, Nakata had to walk the ladder to hit that. That was a ladder-high fastball. He stayed on top of it. Able to drive it right back through the box. So he is aboard at first base, and Hasegawa stepping to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He has also grounded out and flown out in his 2 trips. He has raised his season average to 226. Hasegawa has asked for time. I'm not sure what's going on over here. It looks like there was something that got onto the field. Phil says Lions fans are going wild. Yeah, anytime the Lions get a hit in the ball game, I can see them going wild. That's only their third hit tonight. You got to take the small W's where you get it. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Hasegawa. Things can go a little bit crazy here. All of a sudden, you get a walk and a hit by pitch, and the next thing you know, you get a extra base hit, and things can go sideways. Wouldn't that be exciting? Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted foul down the right field line. Count is 0-2. Then you'd have to ask yourself, where's that been for the last couple of nights for the Lions? So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander ready to go again. Holding to the set position. Here's the pitch. Fastball. This is lifted foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 0-2. Waiting on deck is Tyler Nevin, and then it'll be the designated hitter, Rian Murata. I'm just wondering if I should put the coffee on. Should we get a pot of coffee going here and get ready for extra innings? Because who knows what's going to happen if they can't get through this part of the order. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is 1-2. Either that or you maybe want to get to the hard liquor and add a little bit of that to the coffee as well. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the pitch is on its way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Got to tell you, 13 pitches so far here from the right-hander. He has thrown 9 for strikes. So again, ready to go again is the right-hander Yanagawa. Checks the runner over at first. He works himself into the set. And here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on it. Another one lifted foul down the right field line. So the battle continues with Hasegawa. Got to tell you, in the event that Hasegawa gets on, Tyler Never coming to the plate, there's a lot of high fastballs out of this pitcher. And I will say this, I don't see a lot of movement tonight from the right-hander Yanagawa on his pitch, at least not horizontal movement. There's another pitch that is swung on and fouled away straight back, and the count remains at 2-2 to Hasegawa. No sign of action in the Fighters bullpen quite yet. But I might want to keep that phone nearby. Finally, Franmil Reyes cracking a smile in the dugout. After being benched for his 2 called strike lookings. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball spiked up to the plate, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hasegawa. Runner at first is Nakata. 1 gone here in the 9th inning. The Lions are looking for life here. Our friend Phil says, "Ugh, it reminds me of when Yuki Matsui used to pitch for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. The 9th inning was never safe or felt safe. There's a ground ball hit to short. They go to second for 1, back to first. And that is going to be a game-ending double play, and you can breathe easier if you are a fan of the Fighters or if you took the greater than 1.5. That will do it here. 6-4-3 double play to end the ball game, and that is going to do it for us here, folks. We'll come back and wrap this up in just a moment. Your final score is the Fighters 4, the Lions no score. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after this to wrap it all up for you. Appreciate y'all for being here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be right back in a moment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to give you the rundown on this one, and then we'll call it a night. And so tomorrow night, we will be back on again, same time, same channel, and same two teams. And so hopefully you can make it in for that one as well. Well, the Fighters pitching has dominated the series. A 4-0 victory tonight over the Lions. All of the rundown would go this way. In the second inning, Kaz Ishii opened the inning with a single. And with one out, there was a walk to Yuki Nomura. Then up stepped Go Matsumoto, and he drove home Ishii with the first run of the ball game to make it 1-0 for the Fighters. Fighters added to their lead in the sixth inning with one out when Kotaro Kiyomiya stepped up to the plate, and he hit a solo shot to right field. That increased the scoreline to 2-0. Fighters padded their lead in the bottom of the eighth, a leadoff single by Isabata after Kiyomiya grounded out to first, and a strikeout by Tetsuki Mizuno. It was Kaz Ishii who doubled home Isabata with a run that made the scoreline 3-0 at that time. And then Kodi Yazawa stepped up and singled home Ishii to make the scoreline 4-0, and that's where your final ended. The win tonight goes to Koki Kitayama. He goes to 7-3 on the season. Tough luck loss for Kona Takahashi. He drops to 4-6. Once again, everybody, we thank everybody for stopping in tonight and for listening yet again. Final score, 4-0 for the Fighters over the Lions. Tomorrow night, same two teams. Try to squeeze a Major League game in on Thursday night. Friday, we'll try to add another Japanese game in, which would be Saturday in Japan. And then, ironically, there will be Sunday baseball or Monday baseball next week in Japan. And with that being said, being that there is going to be a game on the Monday in Japan, that means on Sunday we will be on the call, and I have to take a quick peek to see who that would shape up to be. So Monday baseball next week in the month of August, it looks like we'll probably be on the call for the game between these Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That'll go off at the PayPay Dome. It'll be 10 o'clock on Sunday night. Hopefully you guys can join us for that one as well. So rare Monday baseball in Japan next week. And we will be there to give you all of the descriptions on that one again. All right, everybody, have a great night. We will see you again tomorrow. And appreciate you all once again for supporting the channel. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.